page 192. This is number 1 at the top of the page. These 2 pages here are reading exercises. So we've had these before. You just get music where you get exercises in reading. Different time signatures, different key signatures, different rhythms, different things, different. Okay. I don't worry about any of that. I simply go through the process that I use to learn a piece of music, and it's the process that delivers it for me. I'm relying on the process to do the work for me, to guide me through this maze of learning a piece of music. That's what I'm going to use here. I like the first one over. It's 2 lines long. Treble and bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature, so we're either in C major or A minor. But look at the last measure, because a lot of pieces will end on their 1 chord. They may or may not start on a 1 chord, but most of them will end. They don't have to end on a 1 chord, but most do, and I do here. It's an A minor, so we're in the key of A minor. However, I'm still going to do the scales and arpeggios for both, C major and A minor. You've heard this lecture before, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 4/4 time signature, and both hands are playing, so I'm going to take it one hand at a time. And I'm looking for a fingering that allows me to connect the notes. So right hand is starting here, and I trust you know the names of these notes in the music. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. I go through the whole thing. Right hand's okay. We're not moving around. We're just right here. Left hand, we're here. C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. The thumb comes up. Now, again, I would like to connect the notes. And then going from the 2nd measure to the 3rd measure, I can't. So I'm going to alter the fingering so I can. Instead of 1, I'm going to do a 2. 1 here. And that allows me to do that. Same thing in measure 6. Last one, 2. That's all I'm doing. I want to connect the notes. Why? Because I've found over time what I was taught to is it's a more reliable fingering, especially when you get nervous. If you can find a fingering that allows you to connect the notes, you can feel your way around, you can feel the flow of the melody, and I do it with everything, melody or not. And it's safer than using the same finger like that. I've seen people play like that all the time. They'll have a melody like they've got, and they'll use thumb on a lot of things that's here. They will use the same finger when they don't have to. And so I do different ways of doing it. I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. There's just different ways of doing it. This is how I do it. So, put hands together. 2 in here. 2 in here. So I put the hands together. And then I go back over it slowly and get rid of the hesitations. And when I'm not moving around much like this, because you need to be able to feel this a little bit. You ought to be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. Then I do the articulation. We have staccatos and slurs. I'm hinging at the wrist on these. Bum, bum. And even with the staccatos, now it's not so important that I use a legato fingering here, because I'm up anyway, I could do it. But I still want a legato fingering, whether I need it or not, because I can still feel that. I like that better than using a thumb on both. I don't recommend it. However, do what your teacher tells you to do. So put in the articulation and then the dynamics. The P is soft. It's the only one to give, isn't that nice? It applies to the melody, which is the right hand. So whatever you think soft is. The left hand's got to be in the background, out of the way. Very soft. You don't have to do the whole thing at soft. These dynamics they're a rough guide in most cases. You're in the soft area, a gentle area. But you can get a little less louder and softer if you want. For instance, in the first measure, I might come up a little bit. Ba, 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 and the ba, ba, ba. So I put a little swell in that first line. Just go up. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. it's, I don't know, it's, I wouldn't get loud because you want to stay in the soft area, but you can get a little swell in that if you wanted to. I don't know. Maybe just the swell in the second measure. These exercises for reading, you're probably not really interested in interpreting, getting into that, because you're just reading the music. But I still think interpretation is really, really important. So I try and explore the possibilities rather than just, oh, I read through that, let's go to something else. Let's see what this has to offer. Speed, andante, moderato. Well, they're mixing them up again. Andante and moderato, what do you want? Well, simply a leisure moderato. I have no idea what that means, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's not slow. Just, This eighth notes want to slow it down, but then this quarter note, somewhere in there, the feel of it. And the speed of the beat, I don't know. It depends on the feel of the music to me. They give a retard there in the next last measure, slow down. How much you slow down, again, it's interpretation, it's feel. How much do you feel it should slow down? But don't slow down too much because then it just drags. So don't copy me, please. You feel the music. You get it. Natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Exaggerate them if you have to feel them. Exaggerate, but you just want to feel them. Now they want you to transpose this to G minor. Well, you're in this position for A minor, and G minor is just one down. So G minor now is relative to B flat major. It has two flats, a B flat and an E flat. So you got to include those automatically. So we're here. And when the thumb comes up, it's the next note, it's E flat for the left hand. So that otherwise you're playing finger numbers. I changed the fingering here, so I use second finger on that. So it's here. Here, I adjust what I need to. Put it in some other key. Have fun with it. Of course, another way of doing that, since you only went down one note, is to read the notes in the music and mentally take them down one note. Instead of an A, play a G. Except you got to include the B flats and E flats. Instead of an E, do a D. Here. Instead of a D, third major, instead of a D, you do a C. I'm just taking all the notes down one. On the left hand, it's here, G and a D rather than an A here. Here, and then I have to go up. Instead of an F, it's an E, except it's an E flat because in G minor, there's an E flat. That's another way of doing it. When you're just transposing like a major second or a minor set, just a short distance, you can do it mentally in the music, or just do it with the fingers. Play the same finger numbers where you can remember which finger you were using. Yeah. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready and go, and.